Hello there. James Sanchez. Hello. Emotion. Emotion. Motion. 1, 2. Motion. 1, 2. All right. Motion. 1, 2. Motion. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2. Um, PNG. All right. Yeah, yeah. screen reader. There you go. All right, there. Testing 1, 2. Testing. Test 1, 2.
Here are all the images we're looking at in this video, and to make it easy and this inspirational work, I included the link for the Milanote board in the description below. So go check it out and make sure to follow those artists in advance, that most of the examples are actually illustration based, or illustration is in the focus of this trend prediction. And why is that? Well, first of all, because illustration became such an important part of every creative field, so it really influences all kinds of different areas. And also, since I am an illustrator, these are the type of work that I constantly look at and get inspired by. But in case you are not into illustration, because I have also many examples from other creative fields like photography, graphic design, packaging, XUI and web design, and even logo and branding. But before we jump to our first main category, I wanted to talk about two underlying themes that I can see in all of the creative work out there. One of these themes is a result of the unfortunate pandemic that we've been experiencing this year, and all the things that come with it, the staying home, isolation, and social distancing. Now, although this is a very bad and negative thing that happened to most of us and really affected our life, on a note, it also resulted in some amazing creative work. So you can just see it all creative fields, and it is nature and being outdoors, using organic elements, organic products, and the environment in general. Now, this theme again has been influencing a lot of creative work this year, and I'm sure it's going to continue into 2021. And the reason I put these two together on my screen is because it is obvious there is a connection there. So the fact that we've been staying home so much, we are longing more for nature and being outdoors and being free. And hopefully, if everything goes well in 2021, we will gain back a little bit more of that freedom that we are longing for.
You're trying to build something great, something that matters. You have a smart team and they want to go fast. Fast means beating your competitors to market. Fast means attracting the best talent to your team. Today, fast is no longer optional. It's essential to surviving and thriving. But you also know that moving fast can break things. You could be just one bug away from everything coming to.
The name of this first category, abstract minimalism, is something I just came up with because it's not something I can really define better with any other words. So it's abstract because it uses all kinds of different shapes overlaid on top of each other, usually blocked colors, so no gradients, no shading. And that is also why I would call it minimalist, all these simple geometric shapes and simple forms. But another important factor is the color theme, which is a bright, vivid color palette. It's almost, you can say, oversaturated. And one of the reasons for that, I think, is because we are mainly experiencing designs not in print, but on screen. And since the majority of consumers now access designs and consume design on their screens, it can be a lot more brighter and saturated compared to the traditional print designs. Now, something that usually goes hand in hand with abstraction is the exaggeration and stylization of certain features. So that can mean exaggeration of the proportions of characters, like large feet, large hands, but it can also mean the oversimplification of objects, sometimes to a point that is almost unrecognizable. The circle is considered most of the time as the perfect shape. So, of course, it is very heavily influencing a lot of compositions. But in 2021, I expect it to become even more relevant. And we can see many examples of it already shown. Apple, for instance, using it a lot, whether it is a radio symmetry that they have on their show, or the compositions for TV series and movies on TV. But we can see more of concentric compositions even in branding and logo design. And there is actually one less obvious but also very relevant style that is really making a comeback, and that is the round table, especially for motion design and animation, where you have a rotating piece that is going to reveal different details as it goes along. And the Halo effort for Amazon is a beautiful example of this, but you can also find many other subtle examples of it, either in adverts or in illustration as well. We have many tutorials and videos on radial symmetry and concentric compositions, and how to create them using Illustrator, Photoshop. If you're planning to learn these type of techniques, you are already in the best place. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can be among the first to watch out the videos that we release each time. And also, in case we are doing live streams, you will be notified to make sure. This really cool visual trend, obviously, again, stems from drawing and illustration, but then it influenced all kinds of other areas of design, like fashion, and even product advertising. The characteristics are really the combination of block colors with empty lines. This animation is a perfect example of the traits and characteristics of this style. Anything that is stylized, meaning that is completely realistic, is challenging the viewer to fill in certain gaps, and in this case, it's those block colors that in certain parts are missing. Even though this is a photo and doesn't have any graphical elements, it also still ties into this trend by having the transparent raincoat with the strong white outlines. So once again, you have your filled shapes and the empty lines. And this style can even work with a combination typography and graphical elements, where only a certain empty lines are only used in typography, but it is still part of the general aesthetic. Now remember what I mentioned about the general theme of nature and using organic things. Here we mainly have organic shapes. So we have round and curved objects, and in case of animation, you would mainly have very fluid and continuous motion. The trends that we are seeing currently in the creative industry. So definitely worth keeping an eye out for it and try to implement it in your work, even if you're not into illustration.